Assalamu alaikum. Now I move to safety terminologies. We have accident. Accident is an unplanned event or sequence of events which results in human death or injury. As we just discussed about Chernobyl, 3.5 million people were affected. Boeing plane hit cargo plane, 300 passengers died. Then we discuss about the problem of Saudi airline with Russian airline. So a computer controlled machine injuring its operator, it's also an accident because one manufacturing company, one operator was killed by the automatic robot, and robot was there to assemble the car and hits the operator and killed him. That was an accident. Hazard is another terminology, a condition that can cause or result into an accident. For example, sensor that detects an obstacle like Saudi airline, a passenger plane hit cargo plane, so that sensor was failed to detect there was object coming to hit the plane. That can cause into an accident. That can result into an accident. Or software was not able to calculate properly and it can result into an accident. Damage. How much is the damage after the accident? How many people are died or affected? Like I said, 3.5 million people were affected because of Chernobyl nuclear power plant explosion, Challenger space shuttle accident, 12 astronauts died, 300 passengers, 700 passengers died. Hazard severity, how much, if it is happen, how much it will affect to the people, how many people are killed or died as a result of an accident. So you can try to measure the loss resulting from mishap. So how much it is severe. Hazard probability. So you try to measure it by probability in terms of 80%, 70%, 90%, 50% risk. So you have to calculate the risk exposure, the probability multiplied by the cost impact in terms of cost, in terms of component failure. That is all security terminologies. Any question regarding these security safety terminologies? Any question from the safety terminologies? How to achieve safety? Safety assurance. We also call them safety assurance. Hazard avoidance, hazard detection and removal, and damage limitation. For example, tsunami. Tsunami hit Japan, nuclear power plant. But Japan has safety measurements. and because of that, not a single person was affected due to explosion of Japanese nuclear power plant because of tsunami. So they minimize the damage. So how to avoid the hazard? Detect hazard and remove it, and try to minimize if you cannot avoid 100%. System is designed so that some classes of hazards simply cannot arise. System is designed so hazards are detected and removed before they result into an accident. And you have safety measurements. That is the reason in factories it is written safety first, or in plain they said safety first, then protect the, try to save the other passenger. In car washing machine, in washing machine, automatic washing machine, you have glass floor and it's written safety floor, safety glass floor. So child will not fall inside the washing machine while it's working operational. So you try to minimize the damage. Reasons of software failure, we already covered some of them. The accidents due to hardware failure or software failure. So that's the specification failure, poor customer specifications. My sound is not clear? Are you sure? Still not clear? I think you have some problem with your headphone. When we can say our software is secure, now we have security. Once we have achieved authentication, integrity, and privacy. What is authentication? MS Sadiq. Sultan Saifuddin. Abdullah Khalid. Fasi Yusuf. Majid Munawwar. Raid Abdullah. Sultan. What is authentication? Authentication means who is who. Who is who. Client and the server know each other. Client and server know each other. Like in network terminology, we have Bob and Alice. Bob knows this data is coming from Alice. Alice knows this data is coming from Bob. So Bob sends the data to Alice. He knows he is sending to Alice. Alice knows this data is coming from Bob. So client and server know each other. We have privileges. We have rights to access rights. Access rights are there. Privileges are there. Integrity, I already covered. That we have data integrity, but we are talking about software integrity, how much security technologies you have implemented, firewall, digital certificate, cryptography. Then you have privacy. Saad Ghalib. Bandar Saad, Ahmad Adil, privacy, Muhammad, Muhammad Yasin, Harun Muhammad, open, anyone can answer. The data communication between sender and receiver, sender and receiver should not be interrupted, should not be interrupted or intruded. Yes, the data interrupted or intruded. Like VPN, virtual private network. So end-to-end security, end-to-end security, point to point, like tunnel, secure tunnel. Like when we have implemented digital certificate, where HTTP is converted into HTTPS, and a secure channel is established between client and server, and data is encrypted over the networks. If somebody will try to read it, he will see garbage or scrap, like sometimes your file is corrupted. He will see corrupted file. So it's private between client and server. It is only for the intended receiver, intended receiver. Intended receiver, only for the intended receiver. It's private between client and the server. Then you have security terminologies. Exposure, when you don't have implemented any security technology, that means your system is exposed over the network to attack. You are inviting the hackers, please attack on my system. That is the reason we need to have antiviruses in order to protect our data. Vulnerability is a weak security. So hacker can penetrate inside the system and cause the system to crash or steal the data. Attack, like system is under attack, it has under the attack of hacker. Let me explain this with very popular example. We have an attack over nuclear power plant of Iran. Its name was Stuxnet, given by Microsoft. It was developed by top scientists of America and Israel, but mostly people say Israel, to damage nuclear power plant machines, yes, of Iran. In operating system, we have defect. It's called 0 day. Zero day is a defect, is a bug in any operating system, and it's very difficult to identify a bug. And if you can identify a bug, you can sell in the black market, dark web, around $100,000. $100,000 approximately. If you can sell, you can identify bug and sell there. Stuxnet use 40 days of Windows operating system. 40 days of Windows OS. One of them was print spooling. There is a file in Internet Explorer, so through Internet Explorer, keyboard file, and task scheduler, the 40 day. Normally bugs have 10 day. They use 10 day. Stuxnet use 40 days. Objective was to damage the plant, to damage the machines. It was reported in 2010. Possibly made, expected is 2005. So it damaged around 50,000 machines of Iran. And it only attacked to those machines activated which are connected to power plants. Power plants. And it used, power plants used a controller, microcontroller, PLC, programmable logic controller. And it uses software, its name is Step 7 by Simmons. Simmons company is very popular for electronics, for industrial plants. PLC, when you connect to your PC, Stuxnet starts working, damage. And normally viruses are 5, 10 KB, 5 KB, or 10 KB, or maximum 15. It has 500 KB. And mostly viruses are scanned, identified at hard disk level. But this is the first virus that hides in the RAM, loads in the RAM, hide like a spy. And the administrator can see normal everything on the screen. So it has fake screen for the administrator. He can see everything is normal. Like in movies, to steal, the thieves use to have robbery in jewelry shop or diamond shop, that CCTV can see normal video. It's not normal. Same Stuxnet does, that it shows fake interface to the administrator, that speed is normal, pressure is normal, temperature is normal, but it increases the speed of motors, rotors, to break the atoms. Each machine is very expensive for atomic plants, rotary plants. Like you have car engine, it is moving in RPM, revolutions per minute. The rotors are moving in frequency hertz. So 9,000, 12,000 cycles per second, hertz cycles per second. it increased the speed from 10,000 to 20,000 hertz, then 40,000, till machine physically damaged, and it damaged around 1,000 atomic machines of Iran. 1,000 atomic machines, and each machine is very expensive. And then once Iran tried to control that, Israel killed their scientists. So 2 scientists of Iran were killed after 1 week of this controlling, when they control that. So that's very common example. And then there was a virus, its name is Shamoon. It attacked Aramco, and around 30,000 machines physically damaged. Around 30,000 machines physically damaged in one shot by Shamoon. And then Iran controlled one of the drone of America, which was very late drone. It flies at a height of 50,000 feet. Normally planes go up to 30,000, 40,000 feet, 35,000, 50,000 feet. You cannot see by naked eye this drone. It was very advanced drone, and Iran controlled this drone and landed in Iran in 2012, I think. So 2010, Stuxnet, 2011, I think Shamoon attacked, and 2012, this Iran-controlled American drone. And they control through the vulnerability, weak security. They penetrate and send the same signals that actual signals were receiving from the control tower. So that's, I try to explain these terminologies through actual examples. So exposure, vulnerability, weak security like 0 days, or weak security of American drone. Iran controlled that and landed in Iran, and then they called China to make a copy of those drones. Attack means system is under attack. It has been attacked and it is damaging the machines. Threat, the conditions, the probability, potential causes that your system is under attack, like bank, they are continuously under threats. Registration system, marking, grading system of King Abdul University is under threat. The students want to change their grades. Bank, they also have threats. Security agencies, Hakuma departments, they are under threats of attacking. So control, like I told you, Iran controlled Stuxnet within 1 week, and they stopped sending the data to the owner. So these are some security terminologies I explained. Any question up to here? Then I move to how many categories of attacks we have. We have direct attack, we have passive attack, we have active attack and passive attack. What is the direct attack? Raid Abdullah, Sultan Saifuddin, Shakir Ataullah, Ahmad Adil, Ahmad Sadiq, Muhammad Marai, Majid Banawar, open, anyone can answer. Anyone can answer. In the direct attack, hacker enters into a system as an administrator, full rights administrator. As an administrator, network administrator, system administrator, having full rights. So he steals the username, passwords of administrator. He has full privileges. He can remove all accounts, he can copy all data, he can delete all data, he can remove user accounts, whatever he wants, he can do that. Just in the main system, at the server. So he has full access. Then you have passive. Or first we can say active. Yes, because we are talking about security or safety, he can have data theft as well as the damage. Active attack. Yes. In the active attack, hacker change the information, change the data which is sent between sender and receiver. For example, you have an agent to buy the shares of stock market like Almarai shares or Saudia shares or Danube shares or Nahdi shares or Aramco shares, and hacker change to some low level company. That's, or for example, you have some important contract. Yes, not only stealing, changing. Like you have transaction of 5,000 real, he can change to 50,000. Live, he can change the data. That is active attack. And we have a term, it's called spoofing. If I'm not mistaken, spoofing. Yes. And then you have passive attack. Passive attack is like taping, copying the data, or copying the data. Like Stuxnet has done direct attack as well as active attack. The passive is like copy. Stuxnet was also copying the data, sending to the owner of the virus, to the server, all data of the clients, all information. So when you are sending some information, you are working on some document, one copy will go to the hacker. Like Sony company, they have suffered this attack, and all of their upcoming movies, projects, they were leaked to Korean hackers. Korean hackers are very strong, and they try to have a bank fraud, transaction fraud with one of the Bangladeshi bank, central bank, state bank, and they steal lot of money, and they even transfer to anonymous accounts. So you have copying, spy. You don't know, like when you call to some office, the receptionist can hear all the communication between you and the other guy, or there are some software available over mobile that you can listen all talk, all communication, what other person is talking to someone or over the call. All information is going to the owner of that software. So copy will go, or like spy is there. So every document will be sent, one copy will go to the hacker. So it's very dangerous. Mostly competitors use passive attack to know about the future projects of the competitors, future products of the customers, future products of the competitors. So that is different types of attacks. These are categories. And then you have types. We have DOS, denial of service. It was very popular, but still we have DDoS. What is denial of service? Ali, Osama Ali, Majid Munawwar, Muhammad Marai, Abdul Latif Garamullah. Open, anyone can answer. Hacker or attacker sends so many requests that system cannot respond. The server has a capacity to serve number of clients. So like for example, server can respond 10 requests per second. Hacker will send 100 requests per second to physically damage the machine. So denial of service attack damage many customers, many users. Hard disks are physically burned. Like Stuxnet has denial of service attack. That machine has a capacity to rotate. It will rotate at such a maximum speed that it will burn, or parts will collide with each other, parts will strike each other. So we have distributed denial of service, or this DDoS. So hackers send so many requests that server cannot respond, and it is denial means refusal of service, that server cannot respond and physically damage. Then you have virus and worm. What is the difference between virus and worm? Shakir Atawallah. Bandar Saad. Ahmed Adil. Virus and worm. Open. Anyone can answer. Virus always attach itself to another software. Virus hides itself to another software. For example, there was a movie Troy, Hollywood movie Troy, in which the Romans and the Greek warriors were there. So they have Trojan horse. Trojan horse is a very popular virus. Trojan horse. Yes, they thought it's a gift from God or Allah. And warriors were hidden inside the Trojan horse. And they took them inside the Troy and the night the warriors came out of the horse and opened the gates of the Troy. So same is the Trojan horse with audio clip, with video clip, it hides. There was a virus, its name was I love you. People open this message like male receive message from female, I love you. So as he opened the message, virus is there. Female receive a message from a boy, male, I love you. As they open, virus attack is there. NIMDA. Virus was very popular. Worm doesn't need to attach itself to another software. It can run, it can survive over the network by itself. Like you run one of the worm on one of the machine, automatically it affects to other machines. So Stuxnet was a worm and it can survive by itself, or it can act as a virus. It can have denial of service attack. So it has denial of service, virus, worm, all are there inside the Stuxnet. So NIMDA has worm version. There is a worm, its name is netlog. It generates extra network traffic to make network busy, congested, and the clients will suffer with efficiency, with performance, page cannot be displayed. So these are the main types. Any question here? Then I move to security assurance. Vulnerability avoidance, attack detection and elimination, exposure limitation. Vulnerability means weak security, like as is identified, fix it. Like for Stuxnet, as 40 days were identified, Microsoft start working to introduce patches to stop those vulnerabilities. Attack detection and elimination, like Stuxnet use vulnerability of Irani nuclear power plant. But as they identified and they eliminated and try to minimize your exposure to internet. Or you must have security technology to protect the exposure, like antiviruses, digital certificate should be there, firewall should be there to protect your exposure. You should have minimum exposure. Without the security technologies, firewall, cryptography, digital certificate, antiviruses should be there. These are the assurance. How successful have we been? We'll continue inshallah in the next lecture from here. Any question about today's lecture? Any question about today's lecture? Thank you very much. Love you.